sequestered in a way, because it was during a lockdown and we were in Melbourne away from a lot of our families, and we turned to each other, much like the people in the sinkhole have to turn to each other and become a family. You'll even see it above ground, how the people that are dealing with the loss there have to come together. Hi, Jana.
Hello, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I yell in your ear? Hi. Hello,
No,
yes.
no, you're not. Oh my God.
Where are you at, Jana?
Good morning. I'm in LA.
Okay. I'll be there later on today. I'm getting on a direct flight in a few hours.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Where are you at right now? Texas?
San Antonio, Texas.
Yes,
Hometown.
That's awesome.
Celebrating with family, high-fiving everybody before tomorrow. I thought I was going to be shooting. I thought I was going to be here when it aired, but I forgot our flight was on Monday instead of Tuesday. But back when I had my first ever appearance, I did a Dharma and Greg, and I hopped in my car and drove straight by myself from LA back to San Antonio in a little Fiat 2-seater convertible, an old one from the 70s. And drove nonstop through the night, got to my parents' door, and I could hear everybody in the house. They were all sat down screaming because I was on camera, and they couldn't hear me at the door. And then they opened the door and they're like, "You were just on TV. You're here. Oh my God." So I just missed my appearance. I'm just going to miss it this time. But, spending time with family and being there to celebrate with them is incredible. And so here I am.
That's amazing. Thank you for your time, and sharing your time with us. Tell them.
No, yeah, thank you also for taking this time today and spreading the word.
Yes, of course. I watched the episode. I watched 3 episodes, and oh my God, what an amazing! I was like super crazy, especially because I live here in LA. Imagine a sinkhole in the middle of La Brea. I was like, whoa!
I know, right?
When you read the script, like, wow. What got your attention, on the whole series? Then we go to specific to your character.
Right. Like what didn't get me with this one, right? As you saw on screen, you saw the pilot, which is what I got to read. And then I read a little bit of the scenes that I was reading for the audition. You got to see a little bit more of like my character and everything. But, these cataclysmic events that we find are going on every time we turn on the TV, there's a sinkhole, or there's, these crazy worldwide cataclysmic events that are happening. And so it's like, well, what if, and what would that world be like? Tragically, we've seen buildings and cars and things immediately fall under sinkhole, and heaven forbid people. But in this fantasy world, we've kind of put together, well, what would happen? And what if when they fell through to 10,000 BC, what if they fell through to a different world? And that's what we're seeing now. We're seeing saber-toothed tigers and short-faced bears and, 100-foot sloths. And, I heard tail of mammoth might be coming along, so there's like all these really crazy things, but in the middle of it is a family that's really trying to not only repair the damage of the past that they've been going through, but now they were literally separated physically and have to bridge this unbridgeable gap to one day hopefully come back together, and that's when Levi Delgado enters the scene. And while they created this really interesting, exciting world, what was really fun for me was seeing how my character now is going to bridge those worlds, so I come from above ground. I'm the best friend of Owen Macken's character, who plays Gavin Harris, and I'm Uncle Levi to the kids, one of which is stuck down there and one of which is up there without her brother or mother. And we're going to find out that I also have a bit of a deeper relationship with the family. We'll find out in these next few episodes. And I get to bridge that gap, and do the unthinkable, fly into the unknown. And Captain Levi Delgado is a test pilot. He's the best of the best. He's an Air Force pilot. And when Gavin Harris, who's a pilot himself, and they both have always, not only been best friends, but have been, competitors all their lives, he now has to step aside and watch his best friend be the one to go down and try to save his family. And that's when the real adventure starts.
Yeah. And now you playing again another, because you used to play a doctor helping people. Now you're a pilot, but you're still gonna help people. How did you approach Levi Delgado, right? How did you approach him on this series?
Well, for me, the military part was something that I feel I've also played quite a bit of, and it's something that I also have the roots in. I would never say that I do what, actual or, servicemen and women do, but I've been surrounded by a lot of them and heard their stories. And my father, who is himself a Vietnam vet and West Point grad and Army, he would believe as a Army airborne ranger. It's a world I grew up in. I grew up on military bases around the world. And so it's something that I really feel a lot of pride in representing. And I hope that I get that right. But it also, I think, to prepare for a role like this, I mean, it's approaching with a childlike wonder. It's approaching with that sense of play that we all had when we were kids, of make believe, but yet we get to do it on these amazing sets that the crew has created. We get to tromp around in the woods of Australia, that doubles for this land that we've created. And so those sets, along with the real environment of Australia, you just had to stay open and stay, ready to play make believe on this grand scale. And, the proof's in the pudding. I think the show's really come together, and we were all sequestered in a way, because it was during a lockdown and we were in Melbourne away from a lot of our families, and we turned to each other, much like the people in the sinkhole have to turn to each other and become a family. You'll even see it above ground, how the people that are dealing with the loss there have to come together, and I think we deal with this fantasy of a cataclysmic event, but we're all in the middle of one right now, that this provides a bit of an escape. We have our dramas, we have these comedies that we love, that we watch on TV. We're obviously all consumers of this, especially during, this pandemic times, but this provides something we can all do together as a family too, which I'm really excited about. A show that while it deals with very real issues of the heart and families torn apart and brought together and new families created, it also has a sense of humor about itself too. And you'll see that there's a lot of young actors that are coming out. They're so exciting in this. And I was laughing out loud at a lot of the table reads. And the more you get to know those characters, there's just something for everyone truly in this one. And I can say that fully.
No, that's for sure. Like, the cast is amazing. Like, it's like you see like the diverse, you see, this is LA, LA is like that, the melting pot of culture. Everybody's like looks different. I love that. This is something that I love about the show is that the cast is amazing. And for you, like, how important for you to be part of a project that like embrace everybody's embracing diversity? It's not just for the color of the skin, but the way that they look. You know what I mean? I think it's amazing.
Well, it is nice. It is nice when you are there, even just in the cast chairs, behind the scenes, and you can turn to left and right and look at all these characters that not only, I mean, yes, we have, Indian, Australian, because Rohan is Australian actually, but, we have, there's black actors, Asian, we really runs the gamut. And also you have two Latino leading men together, which is unheard of. Me and Jon Seda together on the show. There is room for more of us together. And for some people it's never going to be enough. They're like, well, my LA is this, and this, and there should be more of, we really, I think that it really does run the gamut there. But it was exciting for me. I felt it more represent the world we see around us. But also there wasn't a lot of stereotypes within those worlds. We find these kids, they might all have different ethnic backgrounds, but they're very diverse, and they resist the stereotype a lot of times. And that's really been fun to see, and the actors had such diverse backgrounds as well, because we're talking about actors that were in Australia as well, that we were pulling from that local talent pool, Pachembo Mazambe and Stephen Lopez. We got like just a lot of really interesting new characters for people to meet that American audiences will actually know from a lot of shows that they didn't realize were shot over there. But these guys are stars in their own right too.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. I really like it. Can you tell a little bit about, like, I don't know if you'll be a spoiler, if you have any challenges in any of the scenes that we're going to see moving forward? I don't know if there's something.
I mean, every scene is pretty challenging, I got to say, because whether it's physically challenging or whether it's acting to a green screen of something that's going to be there later, or, some of it, you were in it, we were in, remember when you were a child and you played, whether you were, kids running around playing war, or whether you were playing, explorers, it wasn't hard to feel that wonder again when you were there, in the environment that we have. So that really helped. But I mean, gosh, there's a pretty crazy plane ride, which you're going to see tomorrow night, that I had to, not only did they create a plane for me that was careening around and I'm being thrown about and trying to do my lines and everything else at the same time, but then all the way to, like I said, like there's fights with animals and a lot of other things that I wish I could tell you and refer to, but there's so many secrets and there's so many left and turns that you just will not expect, that I do not want to give anything away. But every day was honestly an adventure, and I was like, man, I was starting to feel my age a bit at times. I was like, wow, this could be a tough shoot, and we were out there, it's winter in Australia while we were shooting,
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I was like, ooh, summer in Melbourne, this is gonna be incredible. I brought all these like swimsuits and all this thing. No, we were, it was tough.
I can only imagine. And then I have something funny. If you have to do a trip, like flying to a unknown place, what do you take with you?
What's the one thing I take with me? A
Yes.
satellite phone that could bridge the gap, maybe. But oh man, I selfishly want to take my daughter, but I wouldn't want her to have to be there. Gosh, I don't know what the right answer here is. Maybe, I'm in San Antonio right now, so maybe it's a nice big batch of barbacoa and some tortillas.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one. and aside from this project, like in this series La Brea that is already airing, are you working any new projects? Anything that you can talk about?
Yeah, I can talk about. We just recently had a big sale with a film I did called Borrego with Lucy Hale, as a lot of fans know from not only social media where she's huge, but Pretty Little Liars. But we're seeing her in a real tour de force performance, which is unlike audience have seen her, although she's got a lot of other exciting projects coming out right now that I think people are going to be blown away by this woman's range. She's got a new show upcoming called Ragdoll, I think, over AMC. But Borrego is this Olivia Trujillo is another really exciting young actress that joins us on this movie, along with Jorge Jimenez from Narcos, as well as Lenar Gomez, people might remember as Limon, who's a very loved character from Narcos. And I was on Narcos too, so it's kind of funny. We have these three alumni coming together in a really intimate film, again, called Borrego, which is going to be coming out soon. I'm not sure exactly where, but we just had an exciting sale with it recently that means it's going to get even more distribution. But it's a tale of a woman who goes to a desert town to kind of find herself, a young botanist played by Lucy, and is caught up in something. We all become caught up in it. I'm the local sheriff living there with my daughter, who's played by Olivia, when three different worlds collide and we're all kind of fighting for survival. So it's an exciting but a very grounded, very heartfelt film too. So I'm really proud of this one and excited to see it.
That's awesome. I'm going to be in the lookout. So Nicholas, this is the time that I have with you. It's a pleasure to talk to you always. Thank you so much for your time. A lot of success. And I cannot wait for everybody to watch all the episode that I already watched with you, and the remaining ones that I'm very curious to know what is going to happen next with La Brea.
Me too. Gracias.
Thank you so much. Muchas gracias.
Gracias a ti. Que te vaya bien.
Bye-bye. If you like this video, don't forget to comment, to like, and subscribe to our channel right here.